So let's talk about arrays and objects. Let's talk about CRUD. Do you know what CRUD stands for? Yeah, so CRUD. D stands for delete. What about the others? What? Create, correct. Update, correct.
Replace.
Not replace. Read. Read. Create, read, update, delete. This is not necessarily about JavaScript. It's about, performing and maintaining data. What do we do with data? We create data, we read data, we update data, and we delete the data, right? So that's pretty much what we're going to do today. It's going to be a relatively simple workshop. I'm pretty sure you know the majority of the things we're going to talk about. We may talk about something a bit special, but generally speaking, yeah, it's going to be fairly simple, I hope. So, first of all, if I have an object, first name, Peter, right? So let's create a new variable, player, that's my user, right? Easy. And then, so which action are we performing here? Create, that's correct, Michael. That's the create, right? So, create, read, update, delete. How do we read the first name? Correct, player the first name. Easy, right? How do we update the first name? Player equals first name. No, I don't want to change the player. I want to update the first name. Guys, could you... Say it again?
Player.firstName equals.
Correct. Player.first name equals whatever, right? That's the way we update a property. Yeah, makes sense, right? So then first name will be Mari. Easy, right? And then how, now that's the important question, or that's probably the most complicated question. How do we delete first name?
Delete space.
That's correct.
Player.firstName.
So Bala is right. We can do delete player.firstname. So if we delete player.first name, what's the value of player.first name? Undefined. That's correct. So delete player.first name is essentially the same thing as doing that, right? We delete that property. So that's the way we interact with objects. We create, we update, we read, and we delete. Any question? No? That was easy, right? 3 minutes. Let's talk about arrays. Generally speaking, are the same, kind of the same principle. How do we create an array of players? Square brackets, Peter, Mari, right? Whatever. Create. How do we read the array? For example, how do we get the first player? Correct. That's correct. So if we do that, that displays Peter. And then we can change the index, right? Because players is an array, is an enumerable structure, so we can check any element in it, right? Easy. Create, read, update. How do I change? Guys, could you please mute yourself? If you don't mind. Thank you. How do we update the index number 1?
Index number 1 equals.
Yeah, equals whatever, right? So, Lucas. So then, player number 1 gets updated. And now, how do we delete player 1?
Splice.
Splice. Before unziff. Unziff. So what then shift does? Adds an element on top, on the front. Correct, Rachel. That's not what we want now. Shift. What shift does? It deletes the first element, but you are not answering my question because that's not what I wanted. I didn't want to remove the first one. I wanted to remove the last one.
The last one?
Yep. Push. Wrong. Puts. Adds an pop. I like that. Pop. So pop will essentially remove the last element of the array, right? Does it make sense? Right, and well, you already answered that question, but anyway, how do we now delete, instead of the last element, I want to delete the first element. Shift. That's correct. With shift, we'll have an array of one element, Mary. That's it. And how do I add a new element at the end of the array? Push. Push what? Whatever, right? So if we push, we'll have an array of how many elements? 3. That's correct, guys. That's correct. Cool. And what if I want to add Donald at the beginning of the array?
Unshift.
Unshift. Right, so I will have again an array of 3 elements, but Donald will be on top. So that's the way we deal with arrays, but now we can make it a bit more complicated. What if I want to add Donald, not at the beginning, not at the end, but in between? Splice. Splice what? 1. What?
Splice
0.
1, 0.
Okay, so what the first one means?
Is the position.
That's the position, the index, you're right. What 0 means? Ah, that's correct.
The elements you want to remove.
Yeah, you've been doing some training, huh? I wasn't expecting you to know all these things already. That's good, that's good, that's a good thing. And then, okay, so the way it works is, A, go to index position number 1, delete no elements, and please add that, right? So, well, this cell should return Donald in between of Peter and Mary. Here we go. Can we add more than one element? Can we do that?
As many.
That's correct, right? That's pretty cool. So Splice uses the rest operator under the hood to gather all the elements we want to add, and then it adds them to the given position of the array, which is pretty cool, right? Okay, so that's the way we add new elements to the array. How can we edit? So for example, let me put Donald here. How can we edit Mary? I want to rename Mary, but I don't want to use players 1 equal, no. I want to use a splice. Index 1. 0. 1. 0. Why 1 was 0? I want to edit Mary. Update the second element of the array using a splice. 1 and the name.
1 and the name.
Okay.
1, 1 and the name.
Right, something like that, right? So that will say, hey, go to index 1. Hey, this is index 1. Delete one element, so Mary will go on, and then put Teresa in there, right? Correct. Can I put again another element? The same thing, right? I can bring more than one element to that position, and they will be added sequentially. That's easy, right? Let me ask you something. What happened if, so for example, Let me bring something meaningful here because we have 3 elements. Let me add a 4th one. So that will essentially replace Mary with Kim. Can I pass a negative number here? So which player will go now? Peter.
Donald.
Let's have a look. Look. Most of you, only Poppy is right? It's Teresa. Why? Because if you pass a negative value, it counts from the end of the array. So that means go to the end, go 1 position back, right? And then replace 1 element, right, with Kim.
And if you did -2, it does the same. Goes back further. That's it.
Yeah, that's correct, Rafa. Say it again, Bala.
So if it did -2, we would go 1 position further back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if you put -2, yes, because it's negative, it will start counting from the right, from the end of the array. Then we say -1, -2, and then put Kim there, right? So it will then return Peter, Mary, Kim, and Teresa. Say it again. No, because -1, I mean, the thing is, that's a bit confusing. So Aisel is right, because if we start from the left, the first element is 0, right? If we start from the right, because we cannot put -0, that doesn't make sense. From an algorithm point of view, we need to put -1 to start from here, right? That's a new thing of modern JavaScript. No, it's the end, it's the last element. Yeah, the last one. What happens if I do that? So what will be the resulting array? Peter, Mary, and Kim.
Peter, Mary, Kim.
Donald, Teresa as well.
Peter, Mary, Kim.
Yeah, but look how it works. So go to the right-hand side, go back 2 positions, 1, 2. So we start here, right? Then delete 2 elements, and then add Kim. So the second argument goes forward, but the first one, it depends whether it's positive or negative. I don't think you can pass a negative value here. I think that doesn't make any sense. I think that's correct. That's removing nothing, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to remove -2 elements. Well, that doesn't make sense, right? Cool. So, is there any question? Yep, go for it. So you have 4 elements, you want to delete a specific. Which element do you want to delete, Dave? The third. You want to delete Donald. Correct. So you can do Splice. What index is Donald? 2, correct. How many elements do you want to delete? 1. That's it. That's a good example. Let's do that. So, well, we know that will work, right? But now, what Dave is suggesting is, what happens if I don't know the position? If I don't know if it's position number 2, 3, 1, I just know that I want to delete, so let 2 be deleted equals Donald. So we don't know where Donald is, right? But we need to find that index. That's the thing, right? So how can we find the index of an element in an array? Index of. We could use find as well. Yes, we could use find. But index of is probably simpler, right? So we can do late to be deleted index equals, we need to put that after the array, equals players dot index of players. No, sorry, that was to be deleted. Yeah, correct. So hopefully with a breakpoint, to be deleted index will be true. So obviously we need to change the algorithm. Oops, I closed it. Thank you for nothing. Guys, there is a fire alarm, so it's probably safer because I don't know if this is a test or not. So yeah, but today is Friday, that's why. Yes, auto security. Right, that was the last question. So let's leave it here, guys. Sorry, we need to shut down. So thank you, guys. See you later.